She leaned closer, her lips barely an inch from mine, and whispered, "Do you always get what you want?" In that moment, I realized this was exactly what I'd been waiting for. Hey you, it's Alex Reyes here, your guide to the untold world of passion, seduction, and forbidden connections. On this channel, I dive into stories that you won't hear anywhere else. Stories that ignite curiosity and maybe even teach you a thing or two about the art of seduction. If you're ready for something bold, you're in the right place. Let me set the stage. I'm 35, single, and have been working in corporate sales for a few years now. The environment is competitive, fast-paced, and full of personalities. But among all the faces, there was one that stood out, Isabella. She was the new hire, fresh out of university, 25, full of energy, and with this magnetic laugh that could light up the entire floor. But here's the catch: Isabella was not someone who had ever been in a serious relationship. She kept her guard up, focused on her work, and had this vibe that screamed, "I don't trust easily." The first time we spoke, it was purely professional. She needed help with a client pitch, and I volunteered. As we worked together, I noticed something. She was sharp, ambitious, and fiercely independent. But there was a softness beneath the surface, a part of her that craved connection, but didn't know how to ask for it. That's when I decided to approach this differently. I didn't come on too strong. Instead, I started with subtle compliments, ones that weren't obvious but lingered in her mind. When she nailed a presentation, I'd tell her, "You have a way of commanding attention. Not everyone can do that." I made sure she knew I noticed her strengths. Then I added humor to the mix. During team meetings, I'd throw in light, playful banter just for her. I could tell she enjoyed it because her eyes would linger a little longer, and her smile would appear faster. But the real turning point came during an office happy hour. We ended up seated next to each other, talking about everything but work, our favorite movies, childhood dreams, even the worst dates we'd ever been on. That's when I leaned in slightly and said, "You know, it's hard to believe someone like you hasn't found someone who can keep up with you." She looked at me, half amused, half intrigued, and said, "Maybe I'm just waiting for someone worth my time." Game on. Over the next few weeks, I kept the connection growing. I'd leave her little notes on her desk, nothing to forward, just things like, "Don't let them underestimate you today." She'd smile when she found them, and I could see her walls starting to come down. Then, one evening, we were the last two in the office. She was struggling with a project, and I offered to help. After we finished, I walked her to the elevator, and as the doors closed, she turned to me and said, "Do you always get what you want?" Without hesitation, I replied, "Only when it's worth the effort." She didn't say another word, but later that night, I got a text, "Dinner tomorrow, just us." And that was how it started. Our connection was magnetic, but understood we weren't looking for labels, just moments that set our worlds on fire. And trust me, they did. And here's the thing, they keeps coming back. Why? Because I used the exact strategies I learned from the course Revolutionary Sex. This isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding what people want and creating irresistible connections. The link is pinned in the comments below. Trust me, it's a game changer. Some stories don't fit the mold of traditional relationships, but they're no less thrilling. If you've ever had an experience like this, or want to create one, subscribe and stay tuned. There are plenty more stories to come. Until next time, keep it bold, keep it daring, and keep it real. This is Alex Reyes, signing off.